Hey, what's up, fellow YouTubers and bookworms? So, what we have here today, as you can obviously see from the description, is I'm showing you guys my Star Wars paperback books, my mass market paperback books. This is the last time I'll have them in the house. I sold them. I sold them to a real nice lady, and she's actually I guess she just started collecting these paperbacks. And so I have read most of them. I want to say easily 70% of them. I'll tell you which ones I've read and haven't read and whatnot. I'm not going to go into the descriptions or anything like that. Um, but yeah, so I figured, I've had these for 15 to 20 years. I started kind of collecting them. A good amount of them I got in a huge batch, and I'll tell you as I start showing you covers or whatnot. But I think I picked up my first book like in 1999, maybe 2000. So it's been 25 years or whatnot, but it's really been like 15, 20 years of collecting. But anyway, yeah, I had like 72 mass market ones, paperbacks, and then I had like 8 or 9 hardcovers. And I got rid of some of the hardcovers that I just kind of gifted to her, and I kept only, I think it's 5, and then I kept like another 9 or 10 mass market or whatever. They're bigger size ones though. I probably should have taken them out so I could have shown you, but they're like the UK ones. But anyway, so I'll show you these in chronological order as best as I think I remember doing it properly. Some of them sometimes may not seem like they were in order, but they are. They're by release date, I should say. Chronological order and release date. So the first one here is a Star Wars Old Republic Fatal Alliances. And that's what that beautiful cover looks like. If there's something cool in the back, I'll show you that. Another Old Republic Annihilation. So I actually didn't read these, but I own the audio of 5 or 6 of them actually that go in chronological order with the Plagueis and all that good stuff and whatnot. This one's awesome. I probably would have kept these if I had parts 2 and 3. But the Darth Bane trilogy is another really good one. This one I actually read on paperback, and I also own it on audio. One that I've never read is the Outbound Flight. So this happens to be a very cool Grand Admiral Thrawn, I guess, book, and obviously Timothy Zahn wrote it, which is always cool. So then, many generations later, we now get into the Clone Wars. That's the first one here. I did not read this one, but I read the next two. I know they don't say Clone Wars, but they're still part of that era. So this is Hard Contact and 3-0. Unfortunately, they didn't get the third book or whatever, or if it's the first book, it's 3 of them. Going back to Clone Wars again. Again, this is in, honestly, chronological order of release and whatnot. Or I tend to do both. What I do is, I'll show you in 1 second when I get to some later copies. Yoda, I actually read. This was awesome. Really a lot of fun. Too bad none of this is canon anymore, unfortunately. But, if you read it, it can be canon. Dark Lord, Rise of the Sith. So the Rise of Darth Vader. Pretty nice. This is almost, it's not the same story, but it's almost like getting into Dark Lords with him and Palpatine going on vacation. So this one's pretty cool. It's an oldie. Danger at Star's End, Han Solo story. This bad boy here is a first printing, 1979. So she's getting this in the collection too. So, Tales. These are some of my favorites. This is from the New Republic. A lot of cool stories in here. What's cool about these is that I don't think, I could be wrong, I don't think there's anything longer than 60 pages. So it's a lot of cool stories, 15, 20, 25 pages at most, 30, 40. But I don't think anything actually crosses 60. So this is my original purchase that I did. I can't even remember where, but it's been used very well. Sometimes they do, oh yeah, it does. This is kind of cool. They do a little bit of art in some of these. So they're not illustrated per se, but, oh, maybe I lost it. Maybe I shouldn't waste time. Oh, there we go. Come on. There we go. So, we know who these 2 guys are. That's pretty hilarious. I like how they included them too in Rogue One. That was awesome. Here's another one. Choices of the One, Timothy Zahn again. Pretty sweet. Honor Among Thieves. More Tales. Another great. It's not my original copy. This I got later on. Jabba's Palace. Probably my favorite of the four. I don't know. This and Mos Eisley are probably up there. Going back to this one. I like how they almost use Boba Fett's story in the Boba Fett show, except there's a person that actually helped them out, which they never show you in the show. And if you've read that, then you would know. I don't want to, give it away or whatever, but it was close. The trilogy for the Bounty Hunter Wars, the original Bounty Hunter Wars. Later on, Marvel used that same title for their books. Some Sand Troopers. This is so cool. I've read, unfortunately, I never finished this, so I'll have to either read them in audio, hear them in audio, or read them later on. But yeah, the X-Wing Rogue Squadron. So all 9 of them are included. So I believe I stopped at number 6. Here's number 2, which is Gamble. Crystal Trap. Crystals. The Bacta War. Wraith Squadron. Iron Fist. Yes, this is number 6. Yes, I believe this is the last one that I read. So unfortunately, I did not read the last 3. Solo Command. Isur's Revenge. Starfighter of Adumar. And then this is the beginning of... No, it's kind of like it's maybe a few years after the fact. Well, it could be actually pretty close to it. I did not read it, so I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I don't think... Yeah, I can't remember. And it's too many things to read. Now, Darksaber was incredible. That goes right after. All right. So out of this is where they came up with the whole Mandalorian thing with the Darksaber and whatnot. Then here we start the Yuuzhan Vong War. So this is the starting point for a new Jedi Order. Very cool. I don't have all of them either, but I have a good amount. Dark Tide Part 1. Dark Tide Part 2. Agents of Chaos 1. I believe there's a Part 3, but I did not get it. I don't know how I missed on it, but I used to work in the mall back in the day, and I would go upstairs to Borders and grab some of these. Where'd the other one go? Oh, here we go. So here's the short story that I have. So I want to thank my old boss, Patrick, over at Comically Speaking, because one day we used to do the summer flea markets. And so we would take a lot of the stuff from his comic book store, or even some of his own personal stuff from home, and we would go sell it. So one day I unload the truck, and there's a milk crate. This is, Conquest Victory 1. And there's a milk crate, and it's full of Star Wars books. So I was like, okay. So we put them out, and they were going to be $1 each. 7 hours goes by, or whatever the flea market hours were, 7 or 8 hours. Nobody buys anything. And they were, people could see them, but nobody cared. So he goes to me, Odie, go throw that away. I said, why? And he goes, yeah, I don't want them. I'm not going to sell them at the store. Nobody wants this crap. I was like, okay, can I have them? He goes, yeah, I don't care. Take them. So I was like, oh, cool. So I was able to fill in what I needed, which was probably, so there's 55 books here. I probably filled in 40 to 45 books. And I already had like an additional 20. And then for repeats, there was an additional 30-something. So I took the extras and I sold them. I sold them online, on eBay, whatever. And I did pretty good money. I probably ended up getting like almost $2 or $3 a book on average. I sold them on a big bundle, same way that I sold these. So anyway, so those got sold many, many years ago, and now I'm selling these again. And I was, I made really good money on these again for something that was practically free. Again, I had probably purchased like 20, maybe less actually. I would, get in ones that I needed to fill in. Um, the next book. Now this one's a nice thicky one. This thing is huge. This is, and it's probably the reason why I didn't read it. To be totally honest, this is well over 600 pages. 604 pages. The rest of it is actually like a preview or advertising. So 605 pages. This is huge. We're almost at the end here, guys. These 3 books were incredible. I did read these. I think this is the twins back here. Pretty sure. There she is too. Oh, that might be Luke's wife, but Mara Jade, but I'm not 100% sure. Maybe. That's the next book. So anyway, so I sold these to a very nice lady, very fair price. And she was really happy, and I believe she just started collecting. So it's cool. She's gonna have a lot of stuff to read for the next, maybe year or so, which is nice depending on, I don't know how she reads, I don't know her, but. And then one that I included that was not part of the deal was the end of the book. So this is an actual hardcover, and it's really nice. So unfortunately, it does not include the CD. I don't know what I did with CD many years ago. I used it and I lost it, I guess. But anyway, so that's that. And then we're almost at the tail end here, guys. So this is the beginning of, the Legacy of the Force. And unfortunately, I only have 2 of them. And that's where I stopped. These I actually purchased because I was buying these as they were coming out. This is actually, I believe, it's, yes, Boba Fett's armor, but I don't think it's actually him. It's someone else using the armor. And then these guys right here, they are way after. One thing that I am missing is, so something I never collected were, this is after Star Wars. Oh, Fate of the Jedi. So Fate of the Jedi, unfortunately, I never picked up not even 1 book. So this is after Fate of the Jedi. And this era is like concurrent to, I guess, Fate of the Jedi. Let's see. Yeah, it's concurrent with Legacy of the Force, and the beginning of Fate of the Jedi. So it's basically Coruscant, and for example, this one here, Millennium Falcon. And Riptide was way before that anyway. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. And then the last book on these paperbacks is X-Wing Mercy Kill. So here's the thing with this last book that I have here. This was actually part of what was given to me in the milk crate. I guess it's a story that's after Rogue Squadron, because it does have Wraith Squadron, Wraith. But unfortunately, I never read it. I never finished it, so I don't know how true that is. So maybe it's just, talks about a couple of things. I don't know if it has all the same characters, but it's something that unfortunately I never read. So I will hopefully maybe get this on audio someday. So yeah, so those were all the books included. And last but not least, so I threw in 2 canon books, and that was The Last Jedi here, the First Order, the Cobalt Squadron. Very nice back here with a first TIE Fighter Trooper there. And then I also threw in Episode 1. Not because I don't like it, I do. But I don't have Part 2 or 3, so it's like whatever. And there's your guy, your favorite, Mr. Jar Jar Binks, everybody loves. But yeah, so yeah, that's basically all the books that I owned. I still have a few left. Like I said, it's like 6 or 7 hardcovers, 8 hardcovers, I don't know, I can't remember. And then at least 9 to a dozen more softcovers. It's just they were always separate. So it's like, what the heck? And they're mainly all 100% canon. So I think that's why I kept all those books. But yeah, so this was my collection of Star Wars books that I used to own. Now they're going bye-bye. They're going away to some nice lady. And, she'll love them, I guess. I hope. Reading is, I think it's so very cool. People are putting their hearts and soul into these creations. And it's like anything else, honestly, right? So whether you're a designer for jeans or shirts or toys, Hot Wheels, whatnot, we all love the things that we love. I know that we all don't love our jobs per se, but at least hopefully you have friends and whatnot, so that's always cool. So I would like to think that even though somebody might say, oh, books are, stupid, or who cares? Why should you love a book? Well, it's because, somebody's soul is a part of that book. So again, not to get all crazy philosophical or some, nutty stuff, but I just wanted to put that out there. But as always, guys, thank you so very much for watching. I do highly appreciate it. Please rate, subscribe, all that good stuff. You guys take care. Peace.